news, discussions too. Let's all chow down on the sweet roll.
This is the Sweet Roll Podcast. I'm Jody.
And I'm Kenny.
And we have this week's gaming news for you. Starting with League of Legends. Remember last week when I said that League of Legends was expecting a major update featuring Bilgewater and a new set of lore? That's happened, and in a really big way. The playable character Gangplank has been killed. And I mean killed. Like, so dead. So dead. He has been finally vanquished by his rival Misfortune.
Shocked and awed into death.
And he is actually no longer playable by characters. Like, he's actually dead. And this is the first time that that's actually happened, that lore has made an impact on a character's ability to be played. But Riot has said, quote, "Remain calm for a few days until we can fully assess the situation. This hints at Gangplank's possible return. Maybe he'll be a ghost or a zombie Gangplank. We'll keep an eye out on it, and you can stay tuned for updates on our Twitter and Facebook on the Sweet Roll Podcast."
Next up is Assassin's Creed. Remember a few months ago when Unity came out and everyone was really complaining about all the bugs and the problems, and mainly they were complaining about not being able to have a female character. They then responded to say that it would be double the work to actually have a female character in the game, even during the co-op sections, which don't really have any bearing. And that was their excuse. And that didn't really lead well to many fans who think that, well, it's just programming and you already have females in the game. Why is it so much harder? Well, they finally came out today and said that they are releasing a female character in the next game, and everyone's saying that she's just being thrown in there and the game's going to be terrible as a result. They came out today and said that that is not the case. Marc-Alexis Cote, the game designer, told GameSpot today that he has been designing this character from the beginning, and it has been a brother-sister relationship with the male character of the game that they'll be able to choose from. Now, whether it's true that that is the case doesn't really matter, because there will be a female playable character in the game, and regardless of the fact that it is shoehorned, Assassin's Creed can put out a bad game regardless of that, and we'll be judging on its merits when it comes out.
If you're a fan of the Halo series, you might be really upset right now. I know a lot of fans are, because 343, who develops the Halo series, has announced that Halo 5 will not have a split-screen feature. Fans of Halo have grown up, perhaps, playing Halo with their brothers and sisters and friends on local co-op with a split screen. And so the fact that Halo 5 won't be having that has really caused an unhappy stir. Ben Kuchera of Polygon, who's a longtime fan of the series, says that this is, quote, "a major step backward for the franchise." I think that we have two camps on the subject. The camp that says, well, people aren't playing co-op as much anymore. This is not a huge deal. People who play the game online aren't going to be seeing any difference, so whatever. And then there are the folks who say, wait, this is how I experienced the game with my friends. I have this nostalgia factor, or I still play with my friends this way. This is not cool. So yeah, huge controversy in Halo Land.
Fans of the Final Fantasy series will be excited to know that a new title is coming to the West. It was released about a year ago in Japan. It's called Final Fantasy Explorers. It's going to be for the 3DS platform. It's going to have all the major characters of the Final Fantasy series, like Squall and Cloud, and you'll be able to play as them and collect shards of the Great Crystal like you were in Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. The game itself will be premised in a combination of Crystal Chronicles and Final Fantasy XIV. It's coming out on January 26th of this 2016, so go ahead and keep an eye out for that.
Fans of Mega Man Legends are going to be excited to know that there is a successor in the works. It's called Red Ash, and it's being developed and produced by Keiji Inafune. When the Kickstarter was announced, they said that they needed money for production development and publication. But then midway through the campaign, they revealed that they have a publisher. It's called Fuse, and they met at E3 and, I guess, made a deal. And now all of that money that is said to be needed for publishing is being sent to unspecified stretch goals. So we don't really know where that money is going. We do know that Fuse is kind of a console bashing group. Their website isn't super friendly to consoles, and we kind of think it's ironic then that the game is going to be developed for PC and then ported to the very consoles that Fuse is bashing. As a result, the Kickstarter is having trouble being completely funded. Like I said, they're about $300,000 away from being done because fans aren't really sure where their money is going. Kickstarter has responded saying that this is not a violation of terms.
Does anyone remember Konami, the game developer? They brought you titles like Contra and Castlevania. Now they're having a new job. So after they were failed to release Silent Hills, which was the big PT trailer that came out last year, that crashed and burned in horribly fashion, so that it cost them a lot of money. So they're now shutting down their game studio. They pulled all their stocks out of the New York Stock Exchange, and now they're not announcing any more games coming out. But they do have a new job. Apparently, they're releasing a new Pachinko machine called Violent Erotica, or Erotic Violence. It's just a machine that's themed around Castlevania, but it's having an erotic spin to it. So I guess Konami's putting their money elsewhere.
Now it's time to hear your opinion. Last week we asked you what you thought of the ESL demanding that professional gamers be drug tested in advance of playing in tournaments. Here's your response.
Hi, I'm Andie, and I'm very excited that esports is now going to start drug testing its players. I think this is an absolutely brilliant idea. People outside of the gaming community just don't take esports seriously yet. They still think of it as a bunch of fat old weirdos living in their mom's basement playing video games for a living. But when you start holding these players to the same standards a professional athlete is held to, it's a lot harder for the outside community to treat those people as weirdos when they should be treated as professionals. I also think the players themselves should be really honored to be drug tested, as weird as that might sound, because it proves that everyone is going to take them as seriously as they take themselves. And if esports as an entirety wants to be taken seriously, they have to take themselves seriously. And doing drug tests is a really good way to prove that, not just to your players that the stakes are real, but also to the entire world. I don't think these drug tests are going to make any gigantic waves. I think it's just one small step, but hey, path of many miles starts with one step, right? That's all I have to say on the matter. Thanks for having me on the Sweet Roll.
Thank you so much. This week we're asking you about Halo. How does the lack of split screen in the new Halo 5 going to affect your playing of the game? Does it matter to you? Does it not? Are you upset by this or ambivalent? Let us know by emailing us at thesweetrollpodcast@gmail.com with your video response.
Thanks for watching, and happy gaming. Fans of the Final Fantasy series will be